students. Last time we considered vertical circular motion, and I have given one homework for you. I am expecting that you should complete it. Now we are moving to the second part of this chapter, which is actually a specific type of circular motion called as rotational motion. So there are few terms to be defined first, and we have to know the physical significance of those terms. I am going to start with the first term, and this has been a question in the board exam also. Define moment of inertia. You have come across word inertia. In the previous standards, you have studied what is inertia. This is denoted by letter capital I. First, I am going to define what is moment of inertia, and then we will try to understand what is the physical significance. What does it mean in day-to-day life? See, moment of inertia is one quantity which is similar to inertia in linear motion. How do we define inertia? Inertia is tendency of a body to continue in its state of rest or uniform motion along a straight line. Example, the bench is stationary. It will try to maintain its state of rest, or if a vehicle is moving, if you don't apply brakes, it has a tendency to continue in its state of motion along the straight line, unless it is acted upon by external unbalanced force. Now the same logic you try to apply to some rotational motion. You can imagine the rotational motion as motion of a fan. The blades of the fan are rotating about the axis, that is the axle to which those blades are connected. When you switch on the fan, it tries to oppose, to change the state of rest. It is at rest initially when the switch is off. The moment you switch on, there is a current passing through the motor, and motor tries to rotate the blades. But initially the blades are stationary. They try to oppose the change in the state of rest. That is why fan does not gain complete or full speed immediately, instantaneously the moment the switch is on. Similarly, if you switch off the lights or switch off the plug, then fan does not come to rest immediately. It slows down because it is in a state of rotational motion. It tries to oppose the change. So that quantity which tries to oppose the change in the state of motion, in rotational motion, that is what is called as moment of inertia. Now in case of linear motion, which is the physical quantity that tries to oppose the change? It is called as mass. More the mass, more external force is needed to bring about the change in its state of motion. Similarly, moment of inertia is a quantity that opposes the change in the state of motion. So mass and moment of inertia are analogous quantities. We are going to understand this mathematically also. Once we start the derivations, you can compare the equations like kinetic energy. In both the cases, the object will have kinetic energy. In linear motion, we just say linear kinetic energy. In rotational motion, we will call it as rotational kinetic energy. In case of linear motion, we have a quantity called as force, which brings about the change. In rotational motion, there is a quantity which is called as torque. So force and torque should have similar formulae, mathematical formulae. In linear motion, we have come across a term linear momentum, that is product of mass and velocity. Similarly, there is a term angular momentum in case of rotational motion. So there are few terms or few quantities which we can compare on the basis of their formulae. Our first job is to understand mathematical definition of moment of inertia, then try to get these three derivations. See, I am not going according to the sequence in the textbook. The full syllabus will be covered, that is not the problem. But three similar derivations are given at different places in the book. All three derivations we will try and complete first and then move to the remaining part. Now, how moment of inertia is defined? Let us assume we have an object of random shape which I have drawn on the board. It is not a symmetrical shape necessarily. Object can have any shape. Let us assume that this is the axis of rotation. Means this body is rotating about this axis. We can consider the body to be divided into number of particles. Say mass m1. This is first particle which is having mass m1, which is at a perpendicular distance r1 from axis of rotation. You can consider another particle say at another position. Its mass may be different, whose distance will also be different from the axis of rotation. So this is a particle having mass m2, which is at this perpendicular distance r2 from axis of rotation. Similarly, there is a particle whose mass is mn, which is at a distance rn from axis of rotation. I am assuming the body to consist number of particles. Actually, any object will contain very large number of particles. Now, how moment of inertia is defined? I am using this capital I as the letter for moment of inertia. Definition of moment of inertia is sum of, so I am writing first the plus term, product of, so I am writing product of what? Of mass of each particle. So I have written for the first particle m1 and square of the distance, that is r1 square. What will be the next term? It should be m2 r2 square and so on. The last term will be mn rn square. So what we will write as the mathematical definition of moment of inertia? It is sum of product of mass of each particle and square of its distance, perpendicular distance from axis of rotation. Those who are not having maths, even they know what is this symbol. How I can write this in short? Summation I equal to 1 to n mi ri square. Observe, the same mathematical equation can be written like this. Now, what is SI unit of moment of inertia? SI unit of moment of inertia. What is unit of mass? SI unit kg. What is unit of distance? Meter, and square of that. So, if I want to write dimensions of moment of inertia, they are going to be m1 L2 e raised to 0. What type of quantity this is? The type of the quantity is scalar. It does not have any direction. Now, those who are having maths, they will easily understand. Those who are not having maths, I will just try to give them how next equation I am going to write. See, every body contains large number of particles, which is almost equal to infinity. Means very large number. Infinity is a concept; it is not a number. But if a body contains large number of particles and distribution of the particles is isotropic, homogeneous body it is, then I can replace this summation I equal to mi ri square, I going from 1 to infinity. Now what is the change? The number of particles I have considered to be very large. In such a case, this summation can be replaced by integral r square dm, where dm is the mass of the particle. So now you have to remember both these definitions, not this one and this one. These definitions you must know for the further derivations and further part of the chapter. So what we have covered here, we have covered definition of moment of inertia, mathematical definition of moment of inertia, final formula, unit, dimensions and type of the quantity. These things you must know to begin understanding the rotational motion. Now I have already explained what is physical significance of moment of inertia. We have to explain it by comparing equations. So first I am going to derive an expression. Now this can be a 2-mark question. Define moment of inertia, state SI unit and dimensions. We move to the next or point or the first derivation that is in the textbook. In fact, first they have derived and then explained moment of inertia. What we have done, first we try to understand what moment of inertia is, then we are going for the derivation. It is a question, derive an expression for rotational kinetic energy of a rigid body. The three derivations are on the same lines, that is why I am going to take them one after the other. You will find the same diagram again and again drawn in the derivations. So what I am considering again, a body rotating with angular velocity omega. It will be same for all the particles. See, this particle which is at some distance, say r1, is going to perform circular motion about the axis of rotation. This particle m2 at distance r2 will also carry out circular motion about the axis of rotation. Every particle carries out circular motion about the same axis of rotation with same angular velocity, because every particle is completing the circle in specific time, means angular velocity of each particle is same. Now I am going to consider velocity. In circular motion, you have come across this part. The velocity of the particle is always along the tangent to the circular path. So I have considered three particles only. M1 at distance r1, M2 at distance r2, Mn at distance rn. The velocity of these particles, linear velocity I am talking about, is different because we know that V equal to R omega. Omega is constant for all the particles, but the distances are different. So this part is different, means this part will be different for all the particles. So now I will start with kinetic energy of particle 1. See, explanation of the diagram I expect you to write. Means what you are considering, a rigid object containing n particles of masses m1, m2, mn at distances r1, r2, rn from axis of rotation. Let omega be the angular velocity of rotation. Then consider velocity along the tangent to the circular path m1 v1 square. Is it correct? This formula everyone is acquainted with. You are studying it from 7th or 8th standard. Now what is value of v1? v1 is r1 omega. Just now I have written v equal to r omega. For the first particle, distance is r1, so it is r1 omega, which I am going to substitute here. So I get kinetic energy of the first particle as half m1 r1 omega bracket square. Open this bracket, you will get half m1 r1 square omega square. Now you can easily imagine what will be the kinetic energy for the second particle. Kinetic energy 2 is half. What is changing for second particle? Then in place of m1 it will be m2. In place of r1 it will be r2. Omega is going to be same for all the particles. In a similar manner, what will be the kinetic energy of the nth particle? It will be half mn rn square omega square. Now what is the total kinetic energy? Kinetic energy is a scalar quantity. So we can say total kinetic energy is kinetic energy 2 plus so on plus kinetic energy n. Now these values are to be substituted here. So it is going to be half m1 r1 square omega square plus half m2 r2 square omega square plus half mn rn square omega square. What appears common in each term? Here you can see half is there in each term and omega square also in each term. So I am taking out those common things. I have taken out half common on the left hand side. In the bracket I am writing this m1 r1 square plus m2 r2 square plus so on plus mn rn square. On the right hand side I am taking out omega square common. Now observe, what does this bracket denote? In the initial part we define this as moment of inertia. So this is going to be half I omega square. So the rotational kinetic energy of the object is half I omega square. Now let us compare kinetic energy linear. I am writing L here. It is half mv square. This all of you know. Kinetic energy rotational, which we have derived just now, is half I omega square. Now compare. Kinetic energy is a type of energy due to the motion of the object. Energy possessed by any object by virtue of its motion is called as its kinetic energy. So these two are similar. What is this? This is linear velocity. This is angular velocity. So these two terms are also similar. They represent some type of velocity. Therefore, they are also similar. It means that these two terms in omega square common. Observe the quantity in the bracket. What is that? We define this term as moment of inertia. In the beginning, when we defined moment of inertia, we said that it is sum of product of mass of each particle and square of the distance from axis of rotation. So, for this bracket, I have substituted I, capital I, that is moment of inertia. Now observe, this is kinetic energy linear, this This is kinetic energy rotational, which we have derived here. Kinetic energy is same for or has same nature in linear and rotational motion because it is energy possessed by an object due to its motion. This is linear velocity, this is angular velocity. So both represent some type of velocity, therefore they are also similar in nature. It means that moment of inertia is representing mass in rotational motion. What is role of mass in linear motion? It is to provide inertia, means oppose the change in the state of motion. So that is why moment of inertia is inertia in rotational motion. So this derivation, do it properly. It is a very short question. 2-mark question only. Half mark will be given for diagram, half mark for the explanation, and mathematical part is quite simple. We will go to the next derivation, that will be finding out torque, and it will be very similar to this. So if you understand this properly, next two derivations you can do it easily. Thank you. We will continue in the next